What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode with the one and only, the Urban Nurse. And today I have for y'all, a special story that I wanted to share. That really touched me near and dear to my heart, that I just experienced at work, and would provoke me to make this video and inspire me to make this video. I woke up this morning around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Listen, I'm a night shift nurse. If you're a night shift nurse, you understand. When I wake up, it's morning time because I was up all last night. So I wake up to a notification on Facebook from a longtime high school friend, and she tagged me in a post from another black male called "Why We Need More Black Males in Medicine." And it just, I said, I gotta make a video about this because I just had a similar experience to what this guy is talking about at work last week. I would go about reading the story to you, but I'm not very good at reading on the spot, so I gotta work this out. So you can check that out, narrated by the one and only, the Urban Nurse, right here.
Why we need more black men in medicine. I had a patient this week who came in with left leg weakness over last week. Younger black guy in his 30s. Brain MRI clearly indicates multiple sclerosis, so we all go in during the morning rounds to give my man his diagnosis. He has a bit of a blank stare as he listens to my attending try to explain what he has. He was told earlier he might have had a stroke, and now we're telling him he doesn't have a stroke, but he clearly is processing what he does have and just says, nah, to having any questions. So we're running the patient list after rounding, and as we get to him, my attending says something like, I don't know if apathy's a word, seemed like he doesn't care. Laughs, and so does the rest of the team. I'm sitting there like, this ain't it, and yes, I was the only one. So after running the list, I don't even stick around with the team. I go straight back to Dewey's room, and the code switch was automatic. Look, man, I know all that was a lot. Did you really get what the doc was saying? The man looked at me with a face of relief. Now I'm going into detail on MS and how it's different from a stroke and what it means for him long term. The real validation came when he interrupted me early on and said, oh, so it's a brain thing I got. Yes, man, it's a brain thing. And now my dude understand what he has, why he needs the tests we need, and what the rest of his life might look like. All because I could recognize what everyone else seemed to miss. From a cultural perspective, he's not apathetic. Folks just weren't connecting with him. I'm in the right field, fam.
Okay, so now you can understand where we're going here, right? So let me share my experience with you. I had a guy who came in for abdominal pain and chest pain. Upon entering the room, doing my assessment, I found out that he was a prior gunshot victim. Got shot up really bad, but he survived, and he lives with the scars to tell his story. After talking to him and getting to know him, young guy, probably looked like he was around my age or maybe about a couple years older than me. After talking to him, getting to share his story, we kind of connected, and built a small relationship. So me personally, I never experienced him showing any anger, I never got any like backlash from him. And when talking to the doctor would come in and talk to him. She always just asked me like, does he give me a lot of attitude? Is he being reluctant to tell you things? And I'm like, no, he's a cool guy to me. And she basically was telling me that it's not abdominal pain, it's not chest pain. He's coming in because he's in chronic pain because he's a gunshot victim, which he rightfully so deserves to be treated for his pain. But she's like, he told me that, and this really touched my heart. It was like, just how uninformed and uneducated my people can be. He said, I'm only coming here because I didn't want to go buy Percocets off the street. I'd rather come in and get it the legal way. And after he said that, she was not giving him any narcotics, any opiates, any nothing. All he was getting was Tylenol and Motrin, and that's it. And maybe some Pepcid for his stomach. And she was just like, he's getting really mad. He's refusing all the medication I'm trying to give him, and he's just upset. So me understanding the situation, I go in there and I talk to him. I say, look, bro, I understand you're in pain right now, and you rightfully so deserve to be treated for your pain. But coming in here to get pain medication is not the way to go. I said, we're in a serious opioid epidemic in this country, and doctors are losing their license left and right. Doctors are being irresponsible left and right, and creating addicts. He's like, man, I'm not no junkie. I don't do no drugs. You can check my urine. I don't smoke. I don't do anything like that. I got kids. I got a job. I said, listen, bro, I understand. You got shot. You know what I'm saying? You still, like you said, you still have a bullet in you right now. You got shot, and you deserve pain medication. But I said it's a right and wrong way to go about things, and coming to the emergency room if it's not a dire emergency is not the right way. And then especially to tell, and we appreciate your honesty, but to tell a physician that you only coming here because you didn't want to buy it off the street, which I commend you on, because it's illegal. You could get locked up, but they're not going to treat that. And especially this physician, she's very smart. She knows what she's doing, and she's very responsible. She's not going to do that. And he's like, yeah, I understand. I said, look, I checked your chart, and I saw that you don't have a primary care provider. What's going on? He's like, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to get a doctor. I said, why don't you have one? I said, in 2016, or I don't know what year, it was a few years ago, you had a primary care provider. You got a primary care provider, and you were had a referral to a pain management specialist. He's like, yeah, well, when I went, they were just all the information they were throwing at him and the medications they were throwing at him. It kind of scared him off, and in my community, we have a lot of people in our family who've experienced things, and they were like, oh, don't take those blood pressure pills because this happened to Uncle Rodney, or Aunt Keisha, she died from like this. So he got to telling me that his family was telling him this, that, and the third, and not to do this, and so he just kind of dropped it off. I said, listen, the first thing you need to do is get a new primary care provider. Well, how do I do that? Well, we have a patient navigator, and that can direct you to different primary care providers, whether you have insurance, you don't have insurance. There's resources here to help you. We're here to help you, and when you do go to that primary care provider, they're here to help you, because they can then refer you to a pain management specialist, because you have chronic pain, sir. And so this pain, you've been dealing with this pain for years, and it's obviously not going anywhere. That's what chronic pain is. It's not just a simple pain that's going to come and go. So you need to be treated by a specialized doctor who can help you with that, and so that you don't get addicted to the medications. He's like, yeah, man, I understand. I said, look, you got to take responsibility for your own health. I said, you got a kid on the way, you got kids at home, you got a job. I said, what I'm saying, your family depends on you, and you got to provide for your family. And the first way to do that is by being there, and you need to take care of yourself. And he shook my hand and was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get on that. So I gave him the patient navigator number. I discharged him, and he shook my hand, and he left. And after that, it's pretty much out of my hand, out of my control. But it really touched my heart, because he was bumping heads so heavy with the physician, who obviously wasn't the same race as him. And there was just a disconnect there, that what she was saying just wasn't radiating to him the way I could put it. Because when he looked at me, he basically, in a way, sees himself, because that could be my brother, that could be my cousin. We understand each other in a sense. I never met the guy a day in my life, but when it comes down to the basics, he can understand what I'm saying, and I understand how I can put it to him, versus a doctor using medical terms, or even if they try, it's just I don't know where the disconnect happens, but I know it's a cultural barrier. And I see that a lot of times at my job, that people call the physicians racist, or have attitude, and just be so defiant against what the physicians and then the other nurses are saying. And I know at the root cause of it, it's that cultural barrier. You know, you can't relate to them and they can't relate to you. And Baltimore, a lot of the hospitals I told you guys are located centrally in the urban communities. They're located in the hood. They all downtown, and all of the patient population, majority of the patient population are, you know, high school diploma or less, have high school diplomas or less. You know, they live below the poverty line. So that the ignorance that's there, they can't really understand what you're saying, and that's why it's important for us to have, you know, more of a black representation, not just black males, but a black representation in all of medicine. And I'm speaking specifically from the nursing standpoint, because I feel like it will further medicine as a whole, because a lot of times people come into the emergency room for, you know, chronic issues that could be taken care of at a primary care provider, but they don't have a primary care provider, either because the lack of resources or the lack of insurance, and they come in for us to take care of these issues. And that then burns out nurses, because it's like, oh, is somebody here again for stomach pain? And then it just creates a divide, and I hate to see it when, you know, we get the same patients over and over again, and the physicians or the nurses that don't come from the same background as these patients, you know, down talk them or laugh at their issues because they don't understand. And, you know, me and my people, I understand because me, before getting in nursing school, never went to a hospital. I had a doctor, went to a doctor, but, you know, I just put all my trust in him because I had been going to him since I was a kid. And a lot of people don't have that privilege, so they're going into an unfamiliar territory, not knowing any information, and then they have these people who they don't look alike telling them information that they don't understand about themselves, and it can be scary. So, you know, I wanted to make this video to, you know, I don't care if it's one person, spark that light, put that fire under somebody who's thinking about getting into going to medical school, thinking about going to pharmacy school, thinking about going to nursing school specifically. And, you know, just put that fire under you to understand the impact that you could have on your community by doing something that you do every day, something so small. You know, I was with this guy for an hour, 2 hours, and I had the ability to possibly change his life. So I appreciate you staying and, you know, hearing what I had to say. I hope to see you guys next time.